Welcome to the Colorado Cross Country Ski Association Nordic Faces. Today we're here with Mark Birdseye, and he's with the National Sports Center for the Disabled. Welcome, Mark.
Hey, thanks, Cassidy.
Yeah, so I really appreciate you joining us here today, and just want to start because for some people, they might not know what the National Sports Center for the Disabled is. Would you mind giving us a little overview of that program?
Yeah, I'll give you a brief overview. The National Sports Center for the Disabled, or the NSCD, started in 1970 by a man by the name of Hal O'Leary at the Winter Park ski area. He was working to try and get people with various disabilities, primarily amputations at the time, on snow and skiing. And he started that program as one of the grassroots programs for disabled sports and therapeutic recreation. The NSCD currently works out of the Winter Park ski area and the Denver metro area. They have another office based out of, it used to be Mile High Stadium. I'm not sure what it's called now, but they have their offices in the football field stadium. Yes. And they reach out to people of all abilities, cognitive and physical abilities, disabilities, to engage them in sport and recreation at recreational level and competitive level.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's quite a history. And so it sounds like they've been around for quite a while and serve a broad spectrum of folks. I noticed they have a hashtag rethinkability, and I really just kind of connected with that. It seemed very empowering. Is there a history to that, or can you tell me a little bit more around the attitude towards rethinkability?
Well, the attitude around it is just that idea of what if, how can we rethink the people that we see that we may perceive as disabled and what they are actually capable of doing, not only them, but their families, and how that we can get them engaged in recreation and sport for themselves, but also for furthering of relationships.
Yeah, and I just think it's so applicable to really anybody in life, just challenging yourself to rethink ability and not put up walls and barriers, and kind of push and think outside of the box. And then kind of bringing that into the Colorado Cross Country Ski Association. For a lot of people, they've never even tried the sport. So I really think, challenge people to rethink ability and get out there and try something new. Can you, Mark, tell me a little bit, what's your role with the National Sports Center for the Disabled?
Well, I work as their competitive cross-country ski coach and biathlon coach. So I work with athletes that want to attempt to achieve the highest level of Paralympic cross-country skiing and biathlon, get them started. I've fed a number of athletes up the food chain that have gone to the Paralympic Games since Sochi in Pyeongchang, and have worked with a number of athletes that'll also be going to the games in Beijing.
That's pretty impressive. What's the age range of folks that you work with?
Well, really, they're athletes in their teens all the way up into their mid-30s. Paralympic sport, athletes will compete. Some of them are in their 40s.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I was just at the first World Cup in Canmore, and there was a athlete that had been competing for, I believe, 17 years.
That's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does the structure of your program look like? Are you out there on a daily basis? Is it off season, on season? What does that look like working with these folks?
Well, as an endurance athlete at the Paralympic level, they have to train on a year-round basis also, just like an Olympic athlete would. And so it is year-round training. I'm also a school teacher, and so if I have athletes that I'm able to work with during the summer, we work probably 6 days a week. Training for a Paralympic Nordic skier includes, of course, aerobic training, over distance training, interval training, strength training, just like you might do as a cross-country skier training for racing.
Yeah, so how did you get into this? What's your background?
I managed the Snow Mountain Ranch Nordic Center as part of the program department for a long time. Then had a job shift and was asked to start the NSCD's competitive Nordic program. And so I've been at it again since 2010.
Yeah. So has that been rewarding, challenging? What does that look like?
It's been all of those things.
Yeah.
It's very, very rewarding. It's challenging from a number of standpoints, trying to get people to, again, see that they do need to train to make the dreams come true that they hope to achieve. Challenging from the standpoint of, thinking about how I can get this person to move most efficiently on snow. Guiding a visually impaired skier is a challenge at times. Looking at somebody's unique body after they've been injured and helping them, again, be the best athlete they can be. And challenging from the standpoint of somebody really isn't going to have the ability to make it to the highest level that they think they can, to also work with them and enjoy the sport of cross-country skiing like so many people in Colorado do. It's not them out there competing, but they're out there enjoying cross-country skiing. And more than anything, it's exposing people with a variety of abilities to the beautiful sport of cross-country skiing.
Yeah. So tell me, it kind of sounds like we got from the challenge into the inspiration there. Is there just like a moment in your 10 plus years that you've been doing this that just was really that inspiring moment that sticks with you?
There's multiple moments. I think, one in particular is just, we were skiing up a trail at Snow Mountain Ranch called Blue Ridge, and a number of people watching this may have skied that and know how challenging it is to ski that using your legs and arms, and then picturing somebody just skiing up there with their arms and realizing that they'd never been able to get up there before and enjoy the outing without the opportunity that the program I'm involved with gave them. And also seeing people that you've trained that have just gotten out of Craig Hospital 2 months off of an injury, training them for about a year and a half, and see them get to the start line at the Sochi Paralympic Games and race against the best in the world.
Yeah, that does have to probably be pretty rewarding as well, not only inspiring. So what keeps you coming back year after year with this program?
For me, I always tell the athletes, hey, if you think this is just about you, you've got another story, because it feeds me also. For me, I've been a competitive individual, been around. I grew up as a wrestler, and you can't be a wrestler without being competitive, and coached wrestling, and helped coach a state championship wrestling team. But I also have this nurturing side of me, and so the thing that brings me back is that idea of helping somebody achieve as high as they want to achieve, but also just that caring side of who I am. Helping people get through whatever they're getting through, whether it be a traumatic injury, a birth situation, such as somebody who's maybe visually impaired from birth, or somebody with spina bifida from birth that wants to try and ski and, again, achieve at the highest level they can achieve. So it's a unique mix of who I am that keeps bringing me back.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. And I give you kudos for spending all that time and energy and effort helping and supporting these folks, and really, getting them to reach their full potential. If, I believe you guys have other programs. So if someone wanted to get involved in this from a participant level, but they're not ready to be that competitive, are there other opportunities for them to just experience getting on the snow and the sport of cross-country skiing? Or do you guys only service kind of the Paralympic aspect?
No, the NSCD, the bulk of their participants are therapeutic rec participants, and that's not only winter activities, but they do rafting, they have horseback riding, and a variety of programs in the Denver metro area. And so for somebody, for themselves, or if they know a family member or have a friend that is wanting to get involved in therapeutic recreation at a participant level, they can go to the National Sports Centers for the Disabled website and get all the information they would like there.
And if someone is interested in taking it to the next level and getting, involved and trying to be more competitive, what does that process look like?
Again, you can contact the NSCD at their website and their Winter Park office, and they have a competitive alpine program. And again, I have the competitive Nordic and biathlon program with what I do.
Okay, great. And if folks today are just inspired by the cause and the rethinkability and kind of all the effort and great things that come out of this program, what are ways that they could get involved in helping the National Sports Center for the Disabled?
Well, there's a number of fundraising opportunities. They have a downhill ski event every year that they put on, and you can get involved in that. You can also just give directly through the website of the NSCD.
And do you guys have a need for volunteers, or is it just monetary support? What are there any other
volunteers are greatly needed, and there's a training program that everybody goes through. I'll be helping teach a training program this weekend for their Nordic program on the therapeutic side. And so, yeah, volunteers are, of course, always needed for any volunteer organization. That's nonprofits are driven by volunteers. And the NSCD is no different than that.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you taking the time, Mark, today to share this information with us. Is there anything that I haven't asked you today that you'd like to let folks know before we wrap this up?
Well, one thing that always strikes me with the Colorado Cross Country Ski Area Association is myself and Sean Scholl, the big shooter. Many people who are probably watching this know the big shooter is one of the better racers in the cross-country skiing community in Colorado. And he and I have been involved in Paralympic sport for a while. He was coaching at the Vancouver Para Games. We came to the Colorado Cross-Country Ski Area Association meeting in, I believe it was 2011, because Paralympic athletes really didn't have many opportunities for race starts. And so we were one of the first programs and states to integrate Paralympic athletes into able-bodied races. And it all started with a really warm and welcoming meeting by the Colorado Cross Country Ski Area Association member Nordic centers. That when we presented that idea, they were very, very open to integration. We took athletes to Steamboat. We've taken athletes all over the state to integrate into races. And that's just a great thing, diversifying the cross-country skiing community. So again, I always think fondly of the Colorado Cross-Country Ski Area Association, and that welcoming, as there were other places in the country that weren't as open to adaptive athletes being in their events.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic to hear. And I know, our mission's just to get people out in nature, enjoying the peace, the serenity, the activity, and making sure that anybody of, all abilities, all walks of life have that opportunity. So we really do want to thank you for all the time and energy you put into making, people's dreams possible from that regard. So I'll let you get back to teaching. I know that you have that other job that you need to attend to, but I really do appreciate your time today, Mark.
You bet. Thank you. And make sure you tune in to Beijing.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cassidy. Bye-bye.